do a fun little live. I can feel a little bit of tension energies coming in today. We probably had some geomagnetic storms happening, but altogether, the collective consciousness is still going through a lot of energy at this time. And I'm also noticing maybe a little bit of electronic interference today. So let me know in the comments or in the live chat if the feed is not good enough to do the live. But let's continue and see how far we get here. So a little bit of tension energy. So stay balanced, calm, try to find your inner peace by doing yoga, maybe do some meditations, maybe just listening to some music to get some of those extra energies out. You know, sometimes you can just shake your hands and your arms and shake it out. So doing a little bit of dancing or moving around would be a good way to combat or meet and embrace some of those stressful energies, some of that tension. So happy birthday to all those Tauruses who are watching. It's a little bit different, of course, but find a way to celebrate yourself and celebrate your victories, because that's something that's really important right now as well, is learning to celebrate your victories and focusing on the lessons and the successes that you've achieved, and less so on the story and the barbs that keep you hooked into a negative or repeating kind of feedback loop. So that could be something that, you know, you were hurt by. It could be a trauma. It could be a situation that you keep replaying in your mind. And you'll note that every time you go back to that place, it doesn't feel good. So you never really come out of that loop or negative thinking, feeling positive, feeling motivated. And so it's really about embracing those feelings, but also disconnecting from the pain story from them so that you can actually look at it from a detached perspective or viewpoint and then start moving forward from there. So I've got a couple ideas on what I want to do here. And I'm going to get some energies of possible past life influences that we've got going on right now for this new moon. We've got a lot of energies to do with relationships, how we relate to others, how we are in terms of control in relationships, manipulation, jealousy, and that all has to do with letting go of control of other people and of ourselves. So allowing ourselves to actually enjoy the journey and the lessons and the impermanence of life rather than being really stuck on things not changing, not growing so they stay the same, and trying to control other people as well with words, with actions. But there's just this energy of detaching from victimization, but also from tyranny. And so, you know, learning not to give our power away, learning how to empower ourselves and maintain boundaries and, you know, allow ourselves to feel safe and also connected. And so from that place of power, you know, cultivating healthy boundaries so that we can feel safe, then we can take action from there. And so a mind of clarity and feelings of clarity also lead us towards action. So if you're feeling like you don't have, you know, enough information to take action, that's okay. We are in that energy where we are still peeling back the layers and discovering more and more truths. So a lot of energy going on. And today might be one of those days where you're feeling extra triggered. You might have to confront some shadow aspects. But you've been doing a lot of work recently as well. And so it's not something that's going to come as a complete surprise. Your intuition will have led you to a certain knowing. But there is that general awareness of not knowing how everything's going to unfold and knowing that you don't know. So that state of curiosity in terms of the mystery and the unknown. So a really powerful and potent time right now. All right. So I'm going to put my links for scheduling if you'd like to book a tarot reading with me. I'm also going to be offering emotional clearing sessions as well. So that can help deal with some of the stress, anxiety that's going on right now, as well as business consulting. So if you're also an entrepreneur and you're looking for a little bit of business insight, then I will be offering those as well. So let's see what the energies are for this Taurus new moon. You know, what are we releasing? What are we calling in? And what energies are kind of with us in the present moment? Okay. So here we go. And I'm using Lucy Cavendish Shapeshifters Tarot, as well as Spirit of the Animals by Jody Bergsman. She's an amazing artist. I love using her decks because they're just so pretty. Okay. So let's get some clarifiers on those energies. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get the show on the road. And there's this big energy right now, too, on transmuting. So if you have, you know, if you feel that there's some sort of attachment or someone's directing negative energy to you, or other people are frustrated and they're projecting out, and you are learning and have learned not to take on extra burdens at this time and not to take on that of other people's pain projections. So just be aware that that may be happening a little bit extra today and in the next couple days as we shift over into these new energies of more grounded energy, more long-term, and trying to kind of find that balance in between planning and action and having the strong foundation set up, and also knowing as much as we can about a situation before we move forward. So making decisions, but based on, you know, our intellectual information as well. So I'm just going to quickly see what kind of past life energies might be influencing these lessons that we're learning at this time. So I'm just going to pull one. I was going to pull three, but I think we'll just work with the one energy here. Okay, so let's see what we have got going on. This is the energy for recent past. We have the Black Cat, Lost Magic, Atonement, and Rebalance. And this resonates to number 30. So this is all about, you know, feeling disempowered, having circumstances or situations in our life, that's George, that really bring us down, that shake us to our core. These are the tower moments in our lives where spirit really comes in with a divine intervention and just takes everything to the ground so that we can have a totally different perspective on things. And we really have to reevaluate everything and everyone in our lives, including how we operate. So we have to look at our shadows, look at our patterns from trauma, how we protect ourselves, self-sabotage ourselves, the defense mechanisms that operate when we're afraid of loving or being loved. And also, you know, that, you know, addictions and darkness, that shadow side, maybe mental health issues, and how we cope with that. Can we ask for help? Do we project that onto others? Do we cause others pain? And this is about taking responsibility for our actions. And so it's also about balance. And this is kind of like a temperance card as well. And we've been seeing that a lot on the general collective, is that things need atonement. They need to be brought back into balance. And so you might have actually been called to do a lot of inner work and heavy work on your own accord, so that you're not waiting for anyone to give you approval or permission to move forward in your life. But there is this energy that you may have some closure or completion of cycles at this time, and or have received that already. So George is right here wanting to be a part of this. So we do have the patience card, and this is the heron, and it says, create a place in nature's stillness and be renewed. Take time alone to find balance. Step confidently toward your purpose. Patience will bring you rewards. So when it comes to the black cat, sometimes we have to really be patient with spirit's time, so divine timing. We might really want something to happen, or we might want someone to share something or clear up a miscommunication or get clarity in terms of feelings or anything like that. But you will likely have had a lot of signs and synchronicities coming in and being like, patience, just wait, it's not the right time. Or you go to reach out and you just feel you're questioning it somehow, and you have to tap into whether that's just fear or whether that is a loving signpost from spirit going, not just yet, like, be patient. And so really, again, all about balance and atonement. And so claiming your power back as well is really important, because sometimes we can give our power away without even really realizing it. And so whenever we get into the place where, okay, the tower came down, we are healing, we are resting, we're forced to introspect, we're forced to go inwards and look at ourselves, deeply look at ourselves. And if we don't do that, then spirit gives us people to mirror back those things in which we don't want to look at, that we're trying to put the blinders on, but spirit is saying, no more blinders. You can't avoid this forever. You can't avoid yourself. You can't avoid your mistakes. And so really we are being asked to embrace our mistakes and swallow our life whole. It's the medicine of the snake. And also, the heron, the patient hunter, strategy and choosing the right time to move forward, and really confronting our whole life at this point so that we can move forward with the strongest foundation possible within us, and that will be reflected in our manifestations outside of us. So a very, very powerful time right now happening with this Taurus shift. You can really feel it. So it will take a little while for those manifestations and that kind of creative, motivating energy to come through. But I can definitely feel it. I feel tense. I feel a little bit of anxiety in the collective and just a very short fuse. So I feel that you guys will probably relate that there might be a little bit of extra conflict energy. So just be aware if you do have a situation where someone instigates a conversation and you're feeling a little bit irritated or off, just be very wise with your words and take the time to ground and respond instead of reacting. Really allow people to speak their truth and come out with revelations that need to be heard at this time. So there's a lot of clearing energy. So hopefully you guys can't hear the vacuum going upstairs, because that's nice. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm like, why are you vacuuming? I'm doing it live. So for the present, we have the fairy ring, new skills, advanced training, and rapid improvements, resonating to the number 37. So number 10, new beginnings. This one is really important because those of you who are watching or find yourself watching this video, you've been working really, really, really hard. And this is a time of initiation, but it is also a time of self-mastery. So you're really learning a new level of unconditional love and really learning that that comes from yourself first and foremost. So you really have to unconditionally love yourself before you can accept the non-attachment of unconditionally loving someone else. So really learning lessons about peeling back why we seek control. Why do we seek control over ourselves? It has to be this way. You have to meet these goals and criteria by this time or age. When, as we're moving forward in our spiritual path, we're really dismantling those. We're dismantling the wants and needs of the ego, the rigidity, having to be stoic and I can do everything myself and everything is about me and what I can accomplish in this life. And what we find as we move forward in unconditional love is that, yes, it is about us and our unique expression in this life, but it's also about what we can contribute to the whole. And so our uniqueness overflows into that whole. So, it's all about win-win instead of win and lose. So with the ego, and you might have noticed this in partnerships with the ego wants to be right. So it's, you're right, your partner's wrong, or they have a different perspective or viewpoint on something. And you have an alternate viewpoint, and then you assume one of them's right, but really two people have two totally different experiences growing up. They learn to process information differently. We learn to cope differently, so we have different coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms. And so it's really about coming from a place of compassion and not trying to rescue or perpetrate and be on that spectrum of, I'm a victim, I don't have control in this relationship, but really releasing controlling others to fit into a certain dynamic. And this is where those rapid improvements will be coming in, so that you'll actually see you'll be relating to people in a different way as you let go of needing to control their perspective or their emotional process. And so embracing those differences and letting go of that need to be right. It's really a hindrance, and it is the ego kind of battling it out. And it's this part in the evolution journey too, when we're in the cocoon and we're ready to come out transformed, there's this element of service, being of service to community, being of service to others. And it can be difficult to relinquish that because we think that we're going to lose something. However, once you're moving forward in that path, you realize you're not going to lose anything at all, because you're accepting yourself totally and completely. So as you move forward, your win is the universe's win, your win is the spirit's win, or your win is the relationship's win. So if everyone is focused on win-win situations, then there's more of an ability to be flexible and pivot with others, and holding space for different perspectives, different experiences. So really, coming from a state of non-judgment is so beautiful and important. That's a huge lesson right now. So as I'm discussing partnerships, the puffin partnership comes up with the fairy ring. And this is accept yourself and your colorful personality. Feel confident about being you. You are a joy bringer. Let your community nourish and protect you. Ask for help. Teamwork will give you the best results. And that's kind of exactly what I was talking about. We have friends, family, partners, and some people will be able to be there for us at certain times. And then we'll have other people who will come in at certain times. So there's this beautiful divine kind of scheduling of when our tribe will show up for us and when we show up for others. So right now with this new moon, there's this energy of partnerships coming up. And also, there's this huge shifting of energies going on. And as I was talking about that victim consciousness, there's this aspect of people choosing what they want right now. So you're making a choice. Do you want to stay in a victim consciousness, which is a negative mind loop, negative thought patterns, feeling like you are powerless to change your circumstances, continuously choosing not to try, not to change, not to evolve. So basically resisting change. You can choose to stay in an energy of resisting change, so resistance, or you can choose to move into an energy of allowance, surrender, and flow. And there's a lot of layers to this, but that's something that we are working on with our partnerships right now. And so this idea of being you, so being unabashedly you, standing in your power. So if you have to, take yourself down a few levels to meet somebody, then maybe it's time to just wait it out. Be patient and stay on your level. Hi, Kathy. Stay on your level and allow that person to make the choice and be in non-judgment of that person. I know it can be really hard, especially if you have attachment to an outcome with them. But the most, freeing thing to do is free yourself of having to have them meet a certain, quota or they have to make this decision in order for you to be happy. So if you're standing in that unique expression of yourself and you're staying on your level, you are remaining authentic, you are ready to communicate, or you're ready to move forward, or, clear up misunderstandings, or whatever it is for you. Maybe come together and collaborate on a business idea, but the other person is not quite ready yet. Honor that. Stay where you are. Don't change your frequency or level to come down to meet someone, especially if they're stuck in that negative thinking or victim mentality. It's their responsibility to bring themselves up. And it's a beautiful thing, because then you're not enabling someone, you're empowering someone by leadership, by example. So a really, really awesome energy. And this is also about those shadow workers, light workers. You are leading by example, and things may have been really, really difficult for you of late, really challenging. And you are just, you're surrendering, and you are working through each challenge, like bite by bite. You are working through these challenges. And I have to tell you, it is very admirable, because this level of mastery, this level of testing and initiation that's happening right now is huge. So if you find that that's you and that's where you are at, please try to stay humble in that. And I know just by the act itself, it is humiliating and humbling, I should say, not humiliating, although it can be, because you are taking a step from one world into another. You know that you are evolving, and there's this sadness and grief that can occur when you're worried about someone else not kind of coming with you, or family members or friends or partnerships. Worrying isn't going to change their decision. It's not going to change whether or not they show up as their unique self, empowered and ready. And sometimes we do have to ask for help, but it's also that person's choice to ask for help, as well as it is for you if you are struggling. So if you are struggling, please ask for help. But know that you are a pillar of light in your community. And that doesn't mean just being positive. When I talk about light and light workers, most of us who are healers or tarot readers, and we talk about light work, that's because you are experiencing the depths, the guts. You're going into the shadows and you're bringing back the gifts from that. So, to explore those layers, you do have to dig deep. And when you come back up and it is shone in the light of day, so to speak, that's when you can really look at it and go, okay, wow, these are the gifts. These are the lessons. This is what I've alchemized and transmuted from pain and grief and difficult situations. And I'm coming out and, okay, now I can start to feel the empowerment coming back. I can start to feel it, even if it's just a tiny little bit right now. Right, Kathy? Understatement. Teamwork. There's a huge energy about teamwork. And even in this fairy ring, we can see there's lots of different fairies. So right now, there's a lot of different healers bringing a unique gift to the table. There's a lot of different traits and qualities in people around you right now. So your family, your friends, spirit will bring people to you when you need them the most, and or you'll think of someone that you would like to reach out to. And so at this time, teamwork is paramount. It's not one person. We do have to stick together, and this is reflected in what's going on in the greater consciousness right now, and the global community right now, having to help each other, be generous, be grateful, be mindful, simplify our lifestyle, and really introspect and bring out the best of us, because it's a choice as well. Do we allow the worst of us to come out? especially if baited, because that is happening right now. You'll have people who are, not doing well, and they don't know how to not, blah on people, purge on other people. So if you're an empath and you've dealt with the overgiver energy before, your boundaries should be, nice, strong, up there. That's yours. You keep that. I'm not taking on any additional burdens right now, but you will assist people who ask for help or want to communicate or have a discussion. And, if you have the energy to do that, then you're in, because it's about community, it's about teamwork. So there's that beautiful energy going on right now. Let's see what's in the future position here. Woohoo! We have Elizabeth and the Lion. It's time to become a great leader. So this shouldn't come as a surprise to you. If you're watching, if you're catching the replay, you are a natural born leader. So your gifts, your trials and tribulations, those situations that have reduced you to blood and bone, sorry for the graphic, but reduced you, like you have died and rebirth. You know what I'm talking about here. You were taken down to bare bones so that you could rebuild yourself in the most authentic possible way. And part of the reason why you've been going through some of the challenges that you've been going through and why they're at this level, like, how can I ever get through this? I didn't see this coming, or, I didn't feel like I could ever, see the light at the end of the tunnel on this one, so to speak. Part of the reason we've gone through those initiations and trials is because we're being prepared for leadership, but not just any leadership. We're being prepared for a leadership that's not about control, domination. Okay? And so you really do have to learn how to be humble and learn where you have control issues in order to release and let go of those connections, those barbs that you put in other people and or situations where you're trying to get something out of it. You are wanting a specific outcome. You may think you are able to embrace change, and then something happens and it will have you questioning everything, because you'll feel the resistance, you'll feel the grief, you'll feel everything connected into why you wanted something to turn out a specific way. And if you are, under that impression that the universe happens for a reason, happens for us, so there's blessings in disguise when things don't go our way, then, you're on the path to allowance, you're starting, you're getting it, but Spirit has been initiating us in the embodiment of it. So really asking us to metamorphosize through the old leader, the old leader that we thought we could be, which was based in lack and perhaps, based on seeking approval or permission from other people. And now we're being, after the rebirth, going, okay, I don't need anyone's permission. I don't need love from anybody to make me whole. I'm whole on my own. And where am I going to take this leadership quality that is inherent, that is my birthright? And Spirit's going to show us where that energy is going to go. But it is time. It's time to step into your leadership role. Beautiful. We have the Swan, Grace. You who glides across the waters of my soul, bring me your wisdom and light. Help me transform into elegance and grace. Inspire me with dignity and the spirit of beauty. So we are transforming, and we are leaving, our old tyrants behind, where we had to have everything, all our ducks in a row. Everything had to look a certain way. We had to look a certain way to people. We had to be a certain way in relationship. It wasn't okay to make mistakes, perfectionism and just being rigid, and possibly also building on weak foundations. So instead of being patient and building every step of the way with that grace, with that respect and gratitude, we may have been pushing a little bit too hard. We wanted something to happen a certain timeline. And, this is just another stage of the learning, but pushing for something and not allowing it to ripen. So picking the fruit before it's ripe, that was part of the old scenario as well. So this time we learned our lesson. We're waiting, we're patient, and we are developing our leadership skills because we know that next phase in our life is coming. We know that, there's some fearlessness that has to take place when we take this next leap of faith, so to speak, because we know everything is uncertain right now. We can't tell exactly what's going to happen. We don't even know how that leadership role is going to show up for us, but we're inviting it. So this beautiful energy of the swan is all about the graceful, it's kind of like a graceful lament at this point to our old selves as well. So really letting go of our old selves and embracing who we're meant to be without the masks, without the stubbornness, of being of service in a little bit of a higher realm than we thought was possible, and kind of giving over elements of this lifetime to how we can be of service, and knowing that that is a huge win for us because Spirit has our back. Spirit is assisting us every step of the way. So very interesting energies coming through that have been, perfectly in line with what has been coming up in the collective and what I've been seeing on some videos recently as well. So past life energies. There's a lot of people right now who are dealing with karmic contracts. So people, and this will probably be really quick relationships or business coworkers, people you're meant to meet and kind of initiate or trigger an awakening process in them. And so there can be a lot of karmic partnerships happening right now. There's also a heavy energy of twin flame energies. Now that's something that I've discussed before in the past, but I'm not going to get too heavy into that today. I'm just putting out there for reassurance for you, if that's part of your path right now, that there can be a lot of closing off loose ties and really allowing peace to settle in an old karmic cycle or pattern with a twin or soulmate, where you've actually lived many, many lifetimes, and there's a very close bond. And in this lifetimes, part of the mastery might be letting that go, and that's going to be a really big challenge. So let's kind of see what past life energies are influencing this new moon energy at this time. Ooh, so medicine man or woman. Okay, so we are moving into creator energy. So in the past, we've known that we could create, but there was this energy of victimization and limitation. So lack mentality. So we couldn't really create because we were still creating with a lot of subconscious energy. So maybe we're like, I want a really amazing partner, and these are all the qualities. And then we found ourselves in a relationship that we had to really dig deep and kind of put up some healthy boundaries and become stronger versions of ourselves, but we didn't see it coming. That's because we're learning about our power, learning about fear, learning about control. And so now, as this medicine man woman energy comes up, we have a lot of very powerful individuals and magician energy. And so you can see where, as this time of remembrance comes in, it's a little wobbly at first because you're stepping into your power and you're going, okay, I can't see anything, but I've been here before. I know how to use my intuition, tap into the third eye energy, tap into the crown chakra energy or soul star chakra. And you can create It's just accepting, okay, how do I actually move forward as a creator, co-creator, and really taking responsibility for each decision you make and what path you choose at this time. So it's a very powerful medicine that's coming up, where we have some, and this is going to hit really heavy for those in soulmate or twin flame, where you're actually going to be collaborating and creating teamwork. This isn't just about 3D. There's a lot of guides. There's a lot of animal totems, past loved ones that are assisting us at this time. And this medicine man woman energy is just saying that, in that fear level, and I'm not saying that this can't exist where fear is necessary, but there's also this energy of medicine men and women working together right now. So using, collaborative, creative force and power from a place of grace, from a place of partnership and patience, where we're coming together because that union is greater than the two individual parts. And so it actually might create a little bit of stability, more stability, that stability that we need right now, because things are just a little bit mysterious right now. Yeah, big, really mysterious. So that's a very beautiful and interesting card to come through in this reading. So definitely big lessons, like I said. And that shaman medicine that's coming through is just saying as well, you are the shaman, you are the leader, and you are always going to be in the state of knowing and not knowing, teacher and learner. So we know that we're always in that fluctuating process of balance. So it's always moving, it's always flowing. So because now I know a little bit about astrology, but I'm not going to pretend to be an astrologer. And so I know that Taurus is connected with Venus, and I've been feeling that the Venus energy is actually really strong and powerful right now, and there is a Venus retrograde coming up. So I'm going to do a little miniature poll on partnerships and romance. So we'll see if it comes up for in partnership or singles, but I think I'm just going to do it as a general. So wherever you are in partnership, these are the energies that are coming up at this time over this new moon in Taurus, and that's at the bottom of the deck, love, and Venus retrograde. So you might have some, unfinished business to take care of. And this has all been about preparing to address that from that place of power, from that place of grace. So let's see what we've got here. I'm going to pull from the Romance Angels deck by Doreen Virtue. And I don't use these cards on their own because I don't really connect amazingly well to these cards, but I haven't really found a deck out there yet that works, well with other decks here. So I always use these as clarifying cards. The Wisdom of Avalon by Colette Baron Reid. And I kind of love this combination. So let's take a look. All right. So here we go. Let's see. Okay, so for those of you catching the replay or just tuning in, just doing a quick little love sort of bonus section here, and we'll see what energies are around this Venus retrograde coming up, this new moon in Taurus and the Taurus season. And I'll be doing a happy birthday Taurus as well. So for those of you Tauruses out there, I'll be doing a birthday video for you guys. Okay, so let's see what we've got going on here. All right, so in the past, the situation involves marriage. So I'm going to get the clarifying card because immediately I have a couple different scenarios going on. Okay, I'll say the scenarios and we'll get the clarifier. So I think we do have a couple people who you've met in the past or you've had relationship with in the past, and there is a connection that could have the foundation of marriage. And there are also some connections that had a bit of trouble and interference from third-party energies. It doesn't necessarily have to be a third-party connection, but third-party energies, meaning that a person wasn't fully committed or able to fully invest in a relationship because they were still actually trying to heal from a marriage or a partnership that was like a marriage. So could have been, a long partnership. And there's some wounding there that didn't allow them to move forward. And so they're still working on that. But it is still possible that you have had a person that you've met in the past that may be marriage material. And let's see. Yeah, we have the novice. So this one is innocence, beginner, ignorance, new skill without practice, and unstable curiosity. So number 5, change. And this is kind of all about us learning also about the marriage of the divine feminine and divine masculine within us. So really starting to heal both the feminine and the masculine, learning how to protect ourselves, learning how to be safe in relationship. And that includes everyone. That includes friends, family, because boundaries allow you to protect yourself in a healthy way. It's not about defense mechanisms, projection, self-sabotage. Those are underhanded manipulations of energy. Whereas boundaries and being assertive and knowing your wants and needs and communicating those clearly, that is allowing another person to know exactly where you're at. So there's clarity. So really learning about relationship, marriage within ourselves and marriage with others as well, and possibly some very important connections to us where we could have also had a past life, with that person, a medicine man, medicine woman. So 2 very powerful individuals coming together. And sometimes this can create, big tower falls because there's so much potency there. So a lot of energy going on. Yeah, that's so funny. How synchronistic. The card that I pulled to clarify those is energy. With boundless energy, you can accomplish more than you ever thought possible. So we're really clearing our energy fields, you guys. We're really preparing for something that we've asked for. We're preparing for our dreams to come true, heaven on earth, that merging, that meeting. We asked for it. We wanted the equal. We wanted that partner who could stand the test of time with us, who could learn, evolve, grow with us, but at the same time, have your freedom, your interdependence. So really, really slashing codependency. That has been hammered heavy in these lessons of late, is really just looking at our codependent tendencies and just having as much compassion as we can for ourselves and dismantling that, because that codependency is also totally attached to the poverty mindset, lack mentality, and codependency is about control, because you're saying, I have to control your energy towards me, or I have to give you everything in order to feel good about myself or feel loved, or the other person has to take and take and take because they don't feel that they can give, right? So there's an imbalance of giving and receiving. And so really managing our energies, learning the new way by understanding fully the depths of our trauma patterns and subconscious patterns from the past, like really seeing them. Like your eyeballs are like this and spirit's like, hey, can you see? Can you see? And you have the choice to go, okay, it may not be pretty, but yes, I see. I had the potential to hurt people. I judged, I criticized, or I wounded on purpose, or I was scared and so I ran, or I self-sabotage because I don't actually know how to be in a healthy relationship. All of that is coming up in different ways for different people. So trying to be compassionate for others, but also understanding and learning that we do have this infinite supply of energy within ourselves. We don't need to steal it or take it or give it to others for them to be whole or for us to be whole. So it's really a powerful medicine time at this point. And of course, as the novices, the fools, as we move forward, we're going to be learning how to use our energy and our power for the highest and best, and really contributing in those win-win situations. So let's see what we've got for the present. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Now, this one, if you guys watch Twin Flame readings, or if you watch Soul Connection readings, you're probably going to laugh on this one, because you know that Spirit is being very picky about divine timing right now. And so you will know intuitively, whether this time for you is about rest and really focusing on yourself so you can build your personal foundation to be as strong as possible. So finances, past traumas, those codependency issues, like really working on yourself so that you can be at the highest and best level possible to re-enter a relationship or start a new relationship. And this one is, that effort has to go towards yourself first. And so everything you do that is involved in introspecting and learning about yourself and being kind to yourself and changing the patterns of how you talk to yourself or unconditionally love yourself. Also clearing the mental landscape. So having your mind as a safe haven instead of this kind of nut house. Those squirrels running around and a lot of clutter and muddiness. We've been moving out of that with this understanding, of the power of taking responsibility for our own energy. So, there's definitely some guidance happening here, and each and every one of you is going to have different individual messages as to whether it's time to reach out, it's time to, take a step back, it's time to just focus on yourself. But everything you are doing right now for your highest and best, for your authentic self, everything you feel guided, passionate about, that is you making the effort. Okay, so slow and steady pace right now. Let's see what we have for the clarifying card there. The Lady of the Lake. This is awesome. Resonating to the number 8, infinity, absolute truth, courage, self-respect, and responsibility. And we have this sword that she has. Now, in the past, many of you are going to relate to the 9 of Swords energy, the 3 of Swords energy, heartbreak, trauma, grief, because that's, partly the way in which Spirit moves us through challenges for us to experience that which we don't want to experience or we didn't think we were ready for. And so the Lady of the Lake still has her sword, but this is a sword of courage and this is a sword of truth. She's not using this wantonly. She's not manipulating or taking cheap shots, okay? That comes from ego. This is the High Priestess. This is the Empress. This is the Emperor. This is the Magi. We are taking responsibility for our actions. We are able to apologize. We are able to accept criticism. And we're also able to stand in our truth and stand at that higher frequency level. We're not lowering ourselves to others' level. If they're there, you can have understanding and compassion. You can be in non-judgment and go, okay, they're there. They're still in this prison of whatever that energy is for them. And you can say, all right, I have clarity. I have truth about what this is. I'm no longer in fantasy. I am making the effort. I am taking the steps that I am guided to take from my spiritual self, my higher self, my guides, my connections, my relationship with Spirit or God or whatever it is for you. But your higher self, that intuition, that connection with the divine, with all things. This is really important right now. And it can feel like a little bit of a tightrope walk. Maybe there's some nails on the tightrope too. But it can feel really, really, you're like, okay, I can't, balance, you've got all these things that you're trying to balance, and you're listening to your intuition, and you're navigating each corner and turn, but it's not a straight line necessarily. We're learning something around every new corner. So once again, back to this card in the regular reading, advanced training, advanced. So these aren't easy lessons, and it isn't easy with our relationships either. So make the effort, reach out, do what you're guided to do, and know that we're building for the long term. So if you recently had a relationship end or a dream that kind of fell apart, don't give up on your dream. It might look different, and you might have to disconnect and detach from it happening the certain way that you envisioned. But once you are able to heal and reclaim your power and stand in your power, you'll be able to make the effort again with the help of spirit, with the help of your friends and family. And you go, okay, I'm not giving up on my dream. I'm not giving up on my ideals of a partnership or commitment. Whatever it is that you want, keep your standards high. Don't lower your standards because of past experiences. Keep them where that they should be in your sacred space, and hold space for that to come through for you. Yes, truths are also going to be coming out. So really, it's just a gentle navigation at this time, step by step. Every piece of information revealed, you're going to have to pivot and adapt and be flexible with that information that comes in. So grounding and keeping your vision high. So looking at things from a higher perspective. All right, so I'm just going to take a sip of my tea and tarot. And let's get the future card. Let's see what we've got here. Calling in your soulmate. No biggie. So it says your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So we had wedding, make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. The novice. So some tomfoolery, some mistakes, not getting it right, so to speak, in the past. Oh, I missed my clarifying card. I'll have to go back to that. Maybe it's for a reason, obviously. But calling. That's awesome. This one, yeah, is so beautiful. Peyote lover. She is the designer who made it, handcrafted it, and I'm also getting a new ring from her shortly. So, yes, calling in your soulmate. And so we've been doing this the whole time by focusing on ourselves, making the effort on ourselves, introspecting. Sorry, I lost the word there for a minute. Introspecting, being able to focus on the truth of ourselves, the truth of others, the truth of situations, and maintaining that courage and self-respect to move forward with that energy. And so this calling in your soulmate, like I said, we're not giving up on our dreams. We're not saying that, oh, that didn't work out, so I can't ever find what I'm looking for. Or, that didn't happen, and so it is destined to never be again. Spirit knows. Your intuition will have been giving you signs and signals lately on how this is going to manifest for you. Is it someone new? Is it someone coming back from your past? You have insights into this. So this is very powerful, though, and it also points to the importance of keeping your energy in that graceful place. So that swan energy. So not in resentment, anger, retaliation, jealousy, but in this place of softening, letting the defenses go, defenselessness. And you can do that because you know how to protect yourself healthily with strong boundaries and being assertive, communicating your truth. If you didn't know how to do that, then you may not want to be vulnerable, because then people can take advantage of you. If you're used to being a doormat, if you're used to not having any boundaries, then people can sense that, fortunately or unfortunately, however you look at it. And you may have found that that's part of that energy from the past, is healing from not trusting, right? Not trusting yourself or others. But really, it's also taking action to protect ourselves healthily, so that we can open our hearts again, so that we don't project our traumas from the past onto new partnerships, or revisit or rehash those old wound patterns with someone who may be coming back with genuine change, having evolved, gone through an awakening, whatever it is. You'll know if that's BS or not if they come back in, because a lot of you will have people coming back in. I've seen that quite a bit on readings. So it's really paying attention to every detail, paying attention to your gut instinct, paying attention to your intuition, and those lessons that you have learned, right? So, right, major lessons. So the clarifying card for Make the Effort and the Lady of the Lake was actually healing. And sorry, this deck is a Fairy Oracle by Pauline Cassidy, and it's actually one of my favorites. I didn't use it for quite some time. And if you're new to the channel, I was doing most of my videos on Facebook, and so I'm just moving over to YouTube now. So feel free to like or subscribe, and you can find me on Facebook at Kindred Heart Tarot as well. So a healthy body thrives with a constant flow of balanced energy. Woo, and it was just 5555 on the timer. So new big changes, right? Really learning, and I think there's some grouse medicine in the center there, but really learning how to manage our energy first and heal ourselves. So, when we're reclaiming that power and when we're standing that energy of empowerment, we're not really needing anything from anybody. And it sounds so bizarre to say that, because you say, sure, but I need connection. Yes, but you have a very divine connection with yourself and spirit, first and foremost. So you're never alone. You're never not loved. If you just focus on that first and foremost, there you go. You have everything you need. Then, okay, this person brings this cherry on top, this extra something that I can learn and grow from. And it can be fun and exciting, and it's another world to explore. But they don't give you anything that you don't inherently have already. So this beautiful energy of healing the body. Mental health is a real thing, okay? And I know you guys know that. But depression, chemical imbalance, addictions, poverty mindset, reconnecting and re-traumatizing ourselves through a pain story, that's very damaging. It's very damaging. And it can be very hard to watch loved ones go through that as well. And there is help out there. There are resources out there for mental health. There's counseling. There's all sorts of resources that we can participate in or take advantage of if we're in that state. But it is so important to recognize the importance of the body's health in your mental health. So if you are eating poorly and there's poor nutrition, or there's too much sugar, it's going to affect your moods. As a woman, for me, I know now I have to pay attention to my cycle, because I can be really kind of off my game, so to speak, and I'll go, oh, it's my hormones. So if you pay attention to your cycles, then you can learn from them and you can work with them. And the same goes for if you recognize, or that's George jingling down there. If you recognize that there is an issue and it is hurting your ability to move forward, to grow, to establish healthy relationships. And please ask for assistance with that, okay, from a medical professional and or whoever you feel guided to seek assistance. But it's a strength to ask for help. It is a strength, not a weakness, because everybody has weakness. Everybody, every one of us will go through situations in our life. It could be something small. It could be something massive, loss of a loved one. It can shake our foundations and our outlook on everything. So please, please, please ask for help if you need it. And really understand the great importance of balancing your energy. So grounding your energy, doing meditations if you have to, getting paint, if whatever it is for you that clears your mind, that makes you feel at peace, do that. As long as it's healthy for you. So I know for myself, if I'm oversleeping, I can start to get a little bit cloudy in my mind. If I'm eating too much carbs, cloudy in the mind. If I, put my exercise off for quite a while, I can start to feel lethargic and I don't want to do something. But as soon as I push myself past that kind of small resistance, it's not that place where you really do need to rest and you need to stop because you're going too much. It's that place where you're just like, you just lost your motivation. So understanding the importance, mind, body, spirit, your body, if your body is healthy, your mind can be clearer. And if your mind is clearer, then you can take action, because clarity in your mind is a mind of action, right? So there's a lot of different factors involved. George really wants to be involved in this reading. So this is so funny. We have calling in your soulmate, and then we have the Bard, number 7. So number 7, a very angelic number, a very positive number for learning and lessons and growth. So it says music, poetry, myth, history, the enchantment of storytelling. We're all weaving a new story right now. We're weaving that story of our own leadership, of our own ability to create. This is wild. This is intense. This is potent. It's huge to be responsible for the rest of your story, for, the blank page, creating a new book. It's a lot, right? But there's this element of magic and excitement and anticipation that can come with it. And the storytellers of the past have shared with us and left their legacy so that we can look back on it and go, okay, there's an element of humanity, there's an element of consciousness, of spirituality that stands the test of time. And we can also leave our legacy. So whether that is poetry, music, writing, some of you watching or catching the replay, you are writers. You're being called to write, bring it into form, being called to sing, put it out there, to step up your game, move to the next level. And it's really beautiful because as we're doing that, as we're storytelling, as we're creating, we're bringing out our gifts to the world. And you might also note that your gifts might be changing in certain ways. So ancestral gifts from your past, so the past life of medicine man or woman, going to be coming forward in different ways. You might see things differently. You might have new healing techniques. You might have your medium skills kind of tuned into a different frequency. So there's going to be a lot of different energies of you bringing that personal gift out into the world to share it. And to clarify that, this is our last card here, guys. Sanctuary. How beautiful. And we really are in this energy right now as we are coming together as a community and trying to limit, the spread of illness and keep ourselves in a peaceful and gentle mindset so that we can birth when the time is right. It says, within your heart, a space of regenerating sanctuary awaits. And so important to have that first, the energy, clarity, having the healing and the balance in your body. And then allowing yourself to rest and recuperate and spend time in that sanctuary. because you did the work. You're calling in your dreams, your affirmations, and that space of regeneration is much needed. So you might have been calling for that. Like, I need extra energy. I don't have the motivation. I know I have. Like, please help me create again. Please help me feel motivated and inspired again, because I lost a little bit of innocence and excitement through my trials and tribulations. And so calling that back in so that I can get excited about creating again, that's really important too. So you guys, there's tons of amazing energies here to ruminate on and think about and introspect on, but a lot of positive movement forward and a lot of recognition from spirit that you have done a really amazing job, and to please focus on your successes and your victories. And if you find yourself looking back at the story and the unending grief and just going back, and then you feel your energy wavering and going down, try to go, okay, like cancel, clear, delete. I see it, or I'm attaching in, I'm putting my energy there, and I'm going to pivot, I'm going to flex, and I'm going to move my energy into, all right, what did I learn from that? How am I transmuting, alchemizing? How am I creating an antidote for other people's poisons that they put into my life? And really claiming your space right now and moving forward empowered. So thanks so much, Kathy, for tuning in and, engaging. I love that. Hopefully you'll give me a subscribe there and tune in for the next time. But like I said, I'm going to be putting out some new videos, going to be doing happy birthday, some astrology, some shadow work and life path, also signs from our animal messengers, and release and surrender as well. I'm going to be doing some sessions specifically for people who are having trouble letting go of something. So stay tuned. There's going to be some exciting things coming up, and I will put a link with the video when it's posted and all said and done, with how you can book, what my prices are, and that. So I'm also on Instagram at Mollie Kindred, so give me a follow if you like, and I will talk to you guys next time. Actually, I do have 1 minute, so Kathy, if you want me to pull one card for you specifically, I will do that. And you can just put yes, please, in the comments if you want a card. Otherwise, I'm just going to end the live session here and move forward. But it's been a pleasure. I wasn't sure about coming on today, but I felt a lot of new energies coming up, and it was a perfect opportunity to do this beautiful new moon. So, all right, Kathy, I'm going to pull a card for you. I'm going to use the fairy deck because it's so beautiful. I just love the cards that come out of this deck. So this one wanted to pop out. Patience. So Kathy, there's something in your life. You are going to know exactly what it is, but patience. It says, greet each moment with endurance and presence of mind. So you've been really, really paying attention and listening to spirit and listening to your guidance, because there is something that needs more time to ripen. There is divine timing at work in your life. And so that's a double up, because we did have that heron in the beginning with patience. So definitely an extra reminder for you. Yes, continue to be patient, because you will be rewarded for that patience. So awesome energy for you there, Kathy. All right. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks everyone who catches the replay. I hope you have a lovely afternoon, and I will catch up with you later. So thanks again. Love you lots, and we'll catch you next time. Bye. Ciao.